Hi, my name is Zach, and I'm going to be showing you how to, I guess I'm going to be giving you advice on how to build better in Minecraft. That's really about it. Cutting to the actual building portion. Hi again. The first thing I would recommend doing, when you build is creating a frame. So a frame is essentially the skeleton of the build. And what it allows you to do is sort of semi-visualize the shape that you're going to end up with once you're done with the build. And it's a really helpful thing to do if you generally have no idea what you're about to get yourself into. Whether you want to build a castle but you don't know how tall or big you want it to be. Or if you want to build a spaceship, I still recommend doing a skeleton. But of course, I really want to emphasize that everybody does this in their own way. There is no right or wrong way. There's just different ways, I guess. And there's no real reason to be a dick about your, I don't know. Just don't be a jerk about other people's builds. Unless they're asking for it, then yeah, grief that shit. But anyway, there's not a lot of thought that I'm particularly putting into this one. I mean, it's just a box with extensions on it. That's how I visualize houses. They're just big boxes with triangle roofs. But we can get a little more detailed, and we'll be doing that in a second. I'm going to speed up the recording, so that way you can see what I mean. Okay, so the frame is done. What I did was, of course, I finished that gradient thing. I think it's a gradient. But I also added these little spokey things on the outside of the wall, just to like almost make it feel more complete. And I also added supports for the logs themselves. So if you want to pause and take a look at that, you can. But right now I'm going to be working on the walls themselves. Now what I've got here is diorite, arguably one of the uglier blocks in the game, but I'm going to make it work. Cobblestone, one of the most used. Granite, another ugly-ish block. And then I've also got bricks. How I'm going to use those, I'll show you. But in the meantime, stick around and keep watching, I guess, because there's really... it's hard for me to explain without actually doing it. So what I'm doing here is I am building out the walls, and that slime is going to get stuck inside somehow. And what this essentially does is put a little doorway right there. What this essentially does is basically I'm going to transition the cobblestone up and into the granite, and then the granite's going to transition into the brick, kind of like how the diorite's transitioning into the rest of the build. So, as I said, going down with cobblestone, and then reaching up to it with diorite. And then, once that's done, I will be starting with cobblestone on the next layer, and then reaching up to that, up above that, it will be granite, and then above that will be brick. And I'm probably going to incorporate a few other woods in here, like birch and oak. Which, it used to be that before diorite, birch was the block you never used, so I'm just breaking all sorts of rules today. Haha, very funny, please laugh. But anyway, this slime is just going to get stuck, isn't it? Gotta get it out of there. Anyway, I'm probably gonna fast forward through this too, because there's no real technique, I guess, to it. it's really more just splotching on colors until you think it looks right, and then moving on, I guess. So, like, for example, this isn't going to look entirely right when I first do it, because it's just purely half and half. So I'm going to make it a little more asymmetrical. But anyway, fasting forward, see you in a second. Okay, so that side of the build is done. By side, I mean all the sides, besides the tower. And now I'm going to move on to, well, the rest of the build. First, I'm going to do the tower, which is going to require oak planks, stripped oak, stripped birch, and just regular birch planks. And what I'm doing is I'm just going down kind of like that. Oh, and I'm gonna have, I'm gonna show you the texture packs I'm using eventually. But I think it's just a little bit of a nice pattern to sort of go down into the birch with the oak. It might not, excuse me, it might not seem like a very good pattern, but trust me, it's going to look a lot better from a distance than it does up close. And that's kind of the point, I guess. If you want to do it up close, make the color palette a little smaller. If you want to do it from afar, keep it a little bigger. As far as the rest of this goes, actually, I think this might be a good time to show you the texture packs. I've got the grass, stay true, limited armor, alternate paintings, fresh animations, and a few other fabric mods that I've installed. But anyway, that's, I can include a list in the description of all the texture packs I use, if it's requested. Again, I don't really know if it will be. I don't even know if anyone's going to see this. But I just figured I'd start a YouTube channel because I've always been talking about it with my friends, just like a way to record our fun games, or games together. And just sort of like immortalize those moments. But yeah, I just figured now is definitely the time because one of my friends is getting a computer, so we'll be able to play more online games together, and then potentially they'll make a YouTube channel too, or I've been talking about it with a friend from high school for a while. But anyway, onto the roof. Basically, I'm just going to be framing it purely in spruce, and there's really no method to my madness here. It's just up half a block every time. I was gonna say half a slab, but it's not entirely correct. Just half a block up each time, and I will be doing the inside with copper of the wax variety, and then I will also be doing cobblestone in there as well. And I'm going to have to get rid of some of this because, let's see, the roof doesn't go that far. And let's see, that door is also going to have to go, isn't it? Or doorway, I should say. Yeah, it's going to have to go. Anyway, I'm going to finish up the roof and get back to you when that's done. You'll understand what I'm going to be doing with it, well, once you see it. So, I'm going to speed up again. See you on the flip side. Okay, the roofs are done, minus the tower. I'll get to that in a second, but actually, you know what, might as well just do it now. So, what I did for the roofs is I decided to change it up a little bit for the roof of the second story. What I did was I made it just purely cherry and God, I'm losing my train of thought. I made it purely cherry and spruce. as you can see, the other roofs are made of that cobblestone copper gradient. That sounds weird to say out loud, but it's the more weathered varieties and oxidized varieties. As you can see, cobblestone is towards the back, while the oxidized copper is towards the front. Now, for this roof of the tower, I'm going to be just doing spruce. Yeah, I'm just going to be doing spruce. And I'm probably going to need to make it a little bit wider, because this will look a little bit awkward if I keep it that small. It's also going to look a little awkward if I make it that big. But you know what? I'm okay with it being a little bigger than a little smaller. If you... Yeah. I'm just going to leave it there. Yeah, that's pretty much the entirety of this house built. And like I said, this is mainly for inspiration purposes. I don't really think it's good for people to just copy others' work and then not, like, actually put any creative thoughts in there of their own. But anyway, that's essentially it for this. I might go in and place some fences up on the roofs just to make it a little window. But yeah, other than that, this build is completely done. I don't see much other work that can be done to it. I mean, I might find like I said, that outside area is going to be a garden if I do ever continue building this. And maybe to ease the transition, I'll use some lichen from the cobblestone to the diorite to the granite, just to make it look a little more good, I guess. But again, this is entirely your thing. I don't want anyone to think that this is like being gatekeeped. But then again, chances are no one's going to see this, so I hope that something, if someone does see this, that they at least enjoyed watching. Probably gonna fill up the floor in here too. But yeah, I just hope that whoever did end up seeing this, if you did, enjoyed it. I'm not gonna say subscribe or anything. I would have to upload consistently for that to even be a considerable thing. And I'm probably going to upload consistently, but then again, my motivation has to be there as well. This was just kind of like that, hey, wouldn't it be cool if idea? And it would be better to do it than not do it and say I did. So that's going to be this. And yeah, I'll see ya.